What I believe God is raising a Jehoshaphat generation. The problem is you must be tested with the battle of compromise first. You must be a generation who not only recognizes God's favor on you, but I believe a generation who refuses and invites in the fire of God for him to remove all impurities, including compromise. The beautiful thing of Jesus is that God sent his son down onto the earth to live a life of perfection and sinlessness, to die and to receive a death that you and I deserved. Our relationship with God, being in relationship with God, standing with God, being in his presence and in his fire, that's where God does the work of bringing about where the compromises of our life are and inviting us to lay those things down at the altar.
Spending time with God is how we have a nourished heart. We get to come to events like this and be set on fire, and we have this flame that's burning inside of us. When that revelation hits you, it changes everything. It truly changes everything. For I've been crucified with Christ. I'm dying to my flesh, and I just want him to love my heart, because it's out of love for him, love for his word, that we actually obey it.
See, it's not about living a perfect life. You and I don't have the ability to do that. It's not about being sinless. You do not have the ability to do that. It's to recognize that God wants you to come into his presence, and when you come into his presence, he's going to highlight for you places of compromise. And your response should not be, I know, I feel so bad about that. Your response should be, I'm going to bring that to the altar.
The heart that we are chasing after is one that we would bring ourselves into the fire and into the presence of God. That we would bring ourselves into that fire that is the very presence of God, and that refiner's fire would be for us like a forge that would form us and would shape us and purify us and strengthen us, that we would say, God, forge me into who you've created me to be. Students, you are deeply loved. You are artfully created, and you are filled with gifts. But are you foolish enough to step out in faith and say, God, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to take the next step because, God, I know that you have deep purposes for my life.